I'm Ryan.
I'm Brett.
I'm Braxton.
And welcome to The Question at Hand, the least specific podcast.
Too bad Christian wasn't here to mess us up.
Yeah, I'm talking about Mountain Dews, baby.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I guess so.
Mountain Dews, baby.
I guess so.
Didn't you say that in the text chain earlier, Brett?
Yeah, he said
Ryan
Mountain
said, what
Dews,
are we talking
baby.
about? And Brett goes, Mountain Dews, baby.
Yeah.
We're talking about Mountain Dews, baby. Yeah. What's up, guys, and welcome back to The Question at Hand. Hope everybody's doing absolutely phenomenal. So we still have our Mountain Dew intro on because we haven't actually gotten to record our recap episode yet. I got COVID. Like, Braxton was gone after we recorded our last episode for like a week, and in that time I got sick. So, yeah, it's been an adventure the past couple weeks. So we'll get to that at some point. But
We will.
yeah, there's been a lot going on, man.
Yep.
COVID sucks. If you haven't gotten COVID yet, just in case you'd like to
Right.
know.
Yeah.
I went and played a
man.
disc golf tournament and got back. Felt okay on Monday, and then Monday night I took my mom to the movies, and then it was like all downhill from there. Had fever. My body still is like aching, like all of my muscles hurt. And this is week 3. I don't know, man. I got medicine for a sinus infection, and I'm pretty sure it didn't go away. So
Yeah. Well, sinus infections are tough anyway.
yeah, it's been rough, man. Anyway, I sound hilariously weird
Yeah.
right now. Like, I just know that I do.
No, I think you sound pretty normal.
I'm very normal. Yeah.
We'll do it in solidarity.
I just sound like really stuffed up. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just a bunch of gunk still.
Dude, it's not fun. Not fun at all. But we have gone and done a couple things since then. Like, I feel good.
I don't know what.
We
No, I'm
went.
just kidding.
I've been in the movies a couple times. Like, I don't feel like going and doing anything that involves me doing anything.
No big activity.
So like
right?
disc golf.
He's turned
Literally-
me down
Literally,
couple
like
times.
if someone wanted to go walk at the zoo or go to the park or something, I would not feel
Maybe
like
no.
doing that right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I did go, I would be like miserable
Yeah.
within like the first 10 minutes. So like going to the movies isn't terrible because you just walk in and sit down and watch a movie. I did a lot of movie watching
Oh, you
while
did.
I was sick anyway.
right.
You
So
probably went through the whole Netflix
Get-
library.
Like you did with me. Hit me
I think I
rapid
probably
fire
would've
with
been
your
close.
list. Just go rapid fire. List them off.
well, so I watched Wolf of Wall Street for one. I watched 2 seasons of Zoe 101 because they just put that on Netflix.
Are you ready? Ooh.
I watched all of
DB Cooper.
DB Cooper. I watched all of what is currently available on Hulu for Only Murders in the Building, which is super good.
I need to watch that.
I caught up on Westworld because it's got a couple episodes out now. I watched The Accountant on HBO Max. I watched... I have a hard time remembering everything at this point.
Yeah, because you
honestly.
said you're in a fog.
Dude, yeah. I watched Inception, which was good.
Which is hilarious that you watched
I
that
watched
in the fog.
I watched Paddington 1 and 2. I watched Sing 2 twice because I watched it once by myself and then I watched it again with my mom. She hadn't seen it. I watched another series. I
You
started.
said you watched part of Ned's
I did watch part of Ned's Declassified. I watched part of Blackbird, which is a new show on Apple TV Plus, which is super good. It's like 4 episodes in at this point, I think. So it's super, super good. I'm trying to think. I watched a couple other movies. I watched Goofy Movie.
And as we walked in this evening, he was literally at the 2 minutes before an extremely goofy movie ended. And I don't know why we were surprised. We joke about it all the freaking time, but
Yeah.
it's still surprising to walk
It
in
was
on someone
it was
watching
on
an
Disney
extremely
Plus,
goofy
so
movie.
I was like, why not? It was only an hour and 20 minutes, and I was like, well, it was like 6:30 when I started it, and I was like, well, which I ate dinner in the middle of it, but I was like, well, that'll give me enough time to like finish before
worked out
everybody
perfectly.
gets here. Yeah. So I watched that. Dude, it's been a journey. I've watched so much stuff.
No.
I went to the movies and watched Where the Crawdads Sing, which was phenomenal. That might be one of my top movies of the year, honestly. I'd never read the book or anything like that, so I didn't even really know what it was about.
You thought it was literally going to be crawfish singing a song.
I just had no idea, and I think that
Also
may
don't
be
like
why
them being
I
called
liked it so
crawdads.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that may
They're-
be why I liked it so much. Like some of the other stuff that I like watch trailers for and like see stuff about all the time.
I know what you mean. That's the way I am.
Like
too.
Sometimes I have some sort of an
not
expectation.
even spoiler, but yeah, the expectation in a
Yeah.
trailer something creates is sometimes it's not positive towards it. Doesn't
Yeah.
make it look bad, but it doesn't
Well, it's
intrigue
not
you
even
the
that.
way
It's
if
that-
you just
Well,
went and saw it.
even like Avatar, like we know there's another Avatar coming out, and the trailer kind of
we
sucks.
joke about it. Yeah, the trailer.
But you have an expectation now. Like I don't even remember seeing a commercial for Where the Craw, like a commercial. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore at this point.
No, I never saw.
But
a
I never
for
saw a
it.
trailer for it. Like I never saw really any ads or anything for it. I just knew it was coming out. And so like that's honestly probably my favorite thing. Like I would rather just not see any previews and watch the movie. That way when stuff comes out, I just have no earthly idea what it's about.
Yeah, I really would prefer that for some movies. You know,
Yeah. Like we watched the Vengeance trailer the other day on the way home. I almost wish I had just gone and seen it and
I
not
know.
even looked up a trailer for
Yeah.
it. I don't know. I think why I was intrigued about it is because it said something like a horror thriller or something like that on it, which I thought was strange because it doesn't look that
Right.
way. So I don't know if that's even what it's going to be about. But we did go see Nope,
we did.
and Brett did not go see Nope.
Nope.
So I don't know if you've watched
They
a
said
lot
nope
of
like
the,
5 times
dude,
in the movie.
they
Every
did
time
say
I
it
was
a
thinking
bunch.
like roll credits.
Daniel Kaluuya, that's one of the main characters. He was on Jimmy Fallon the other day on the Tonight Show, and he asked if Jordan Peele had ever said anything about like why he called it Nope, and he was like, "Oh, well, I mean, when we first started talking about it, he was explaining like the movie to me, and I was like, well, what's it called?" And he said, "It's called Nope." And he's like, "Why'd you call it that?" And he said, "Because that's what black people would say if they watched this movie."
Encountering aliens.
Nope.
Just nope. Nope.
Nope.
And it's a good
Nope.
reaction.
It
It's what
is,
a
yeah.
very sensible
Yep.
person would say, and that's what they should have did. Said nope and walked
And
away.
I was glad that he not only like said that about the movie, but he also included that in the movie. Because if you call it Nope and then they don't ever say anything,
Yeah, then it's
then kind of like, okay.
yeah. It's much better that they actually say.
Oh yeah, he
no.
said it a bunch. Yeah.
And different characters said it too.
My favorite one, of all the Nopes that they said in that movie, was the one where he is sitting in the truck completely still with the
yeah.
horse like had fallen through the windshield, and he's just sitting there, and
Not
he
a real
like
horse.
he like cracks the door and looks out and closes it back and says nope.
Yeah.
I was like, that's my
Now
favorite
mine
Nope.
is when like the fake spoilers, by the way.
Oh yeah,
This is spoiler heavy.
we don't ever do we even need to put a disclaimer out there anymore?
I
We
think we
spoil
have, like,
movies,
once,
okay?
but-
Here's the deal: we spoil them. If you don't, if you're in the wrong place,
Skip ahead about I don't know 20 minutes or something. That's probably how long we'll talk about
just
this.
hit the
there was
15
a-
till you hear
There was
nothing
a
about
part-
Nope.
There's a part that scared the ever-loving crap out of me, and it was fake. It was kids wearing fake alien masks. But
Bro.
I thought that was the part when shit was about to go down. You know what I'm talking about? And
Yes.
because it was like
That
a
was-
dimly lit scene, and there was like a guy like
That's my
crouched
favorite
that, like,
scene from the
slowly,
whole
like,
movie.
Slightly stands up, and the hairs on the back of your neck.
That was my favorite scene from the whole movie.
And that wasn't even the real alien.
Because
It
I was
just
like,
people.
oh my god, that alien looks terrifying. Because
And it was just stereotypical
oh yeah.
little gray man.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I wouldn't even say that was a stereotypical little gray man.
It did have like fur on the sides of its head.
They were freaky looking.
Yeah.
They were really freaky looking.
I'm
like
getting
I feel
scared
like I
talking
would
about
be
it right
more
now.
scared seeing that than I would an actual alien.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, those things were terrifying looking. But I mean, you see
just
those.
kids wearing a
You see
mask,
those in
yeah.
the trailer. Like that's the mask because he was using those three as part of his show.
Yeah, they're sold at the theme park. Oh my God, there's a theme park. And
Yeah.
okay, so
There's
you remember
so much
Johnny
to
the Monkey
unpack about
You
this
remember
thing.
Johnny the Monkey from Borat 2?
It has nothing to do with Johnny the Monkey.
No, but
Okay. Well, so I didn't even realize that was the opening of the movie at first because I was so confused about what was going
yeah.
on.
Okay, so the Universal logo comes up. The opening of the movie is. Do you even see it?
But
You see that it's a monkey.
oh well, so the movie like Universal comes up and then it shows you like inside of a train and it turns left, and it's Monkey Paw Productions, that I guess is Jordan Peele's production company.
Right.
And I was like, okay, that was a weird way to start the movie. But then it like goes like through the window, and then that movie like actually starts, and they're like in this
It's a television studio.
And there's a monkey,
chimpanzee.
There's like a chimpanzee sitting with his back against like a couch on the set, and he's covered in blood. And you're like, I was literally sitting there like,
I was like, so is this the
what
alien?
does this
is
have
the
to
monkey
do
an
with
alien?
I was like, what is going on with the monkey? And I still like, even after the movie, we talked about it the way home. I was like,
I
what
still
is
really
the
get the
deal with the
monkey.
monkey, man? Like, I mean, I guess I understood like kind of why it was there, but I also didn't understand why it was there, because like it made a point that fell in line with Jordan Peele's direction for the movie, I feel like, and some underlying themes that he's
Right, of
trying
course.
to present like he does in most of his movies. But it was just
I think
so
the only real
strange.
answer as to why was a monkey chosen is because chimpanzees are terrifying.
Well,
Because you always hear the news stories of like, oh, the chimpanzee ripped someone's like face off.
yeah,
And
I
that's what
guess.
happens in this movie. You don't see it really, but that's why it's also scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I also feel like they're more prone to we treat them in a scenario like a TV show like they are a human a lot of the time. If that is if they're on a show like that, because I'm pretty sure like that one, they treated him like part of the family, like he was a child.
Right. That was the premise of the TV show, right? Was that, instead of Alf, it was a chimpanzee.
Yeah, and I feel like if you did a dog or something that's not quite as like opposable thumbs and very similar to humans.
Well, that's also why chimps are so scary, because they're an animal, but
yeah.
they're
But if
a
you
little
went
above,
like dog route instead of monkey route, it doesn't have the same effect. Because like I mean, dogs can be vicious. Like we have trained them, and most of the time they're not. But we know that they can be vicious.
Right,
but
they're
it's
capable.
not. It's not like they would sit on the couch and you would act like they're a human, and I would talk to
Oh
them
my
like
God.
I would talk to you,
and they would act back.
and then they would act back, and then something triggers them, and they just go absolutely.
They go ape shit.
Yeah, they just absolutely lose their mind.
So this
This is how it opens, man.
This chimpanzee is covered in blood, but it's not his blood.
No.
It's
He attacked people on the
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally, like, beat their faces.
What is
in.
revealed later is like a balloon pops or something, and he like, goes nuts or something.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened,
Yeah.
and then cut to horses. I guess
Yeah. Kinda.
the only way,
Literally,
the
it
only way
does
the
cut to
monkey-
horses. It cuts to one of the scenes from the trailer where he's walking the horses around the little whatever that thing is called, where they like strap them in and they like walk in a circle. It cuts to that, and he's like talking to the like main dude, Daniel Kaluuya's character, is talking to his dad in the movie, and it starts raining metal.
jeez.
Yeah,
but it's like keys and
it's
coins.
like keys and coins and random crap.
Yeah,
And so, I mean,
That would hurt.
literally his dad dies by he's looking up because there's literally metal falling. He's sitting on a horse, and a nickel like goes into his eye and kills him.
again, it doesn't show any of
It doesn't
this.
show
That's
any
why
of
it's
it. Well, it
scary.
kind of does
Well, when he's like dead.
when he's dead, and then you see like the X-ray, and he's got the nickel like in a bag.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird.
But anyway,
But their reasoning behind that happening is that some kind of cargo plane like
right, they say it was a plane that
had something
dropped
fall off of it or something random.
Sure.
But I don't know how to. There's no real good way to explain it. But the scenario is basically they live on a horse ranch, like that train horses for Hollywood movies.
In the
and
middle of
stuff.
like this valley.
Right.
Mhm.
And it starts off with their dad getting killed. But then I think one of their horses gets out one night, and then they see something in the sky.
Well, it doesn't exactly. I mean, it gets out. He goes out. There's something that like spooked it, and he goes out to check on it, and the thing like jumps over the fence and over him too, because he's standing with
Yeah.
his back to the fence, like looking. and the horse like takes off, and he's like going after it to try to get it back, and he doesn't really see a whole lot other than there's lights off in the distance at the end of the valley, and you see this like tornado of like dust and stuff kick up. That's it. And then does he see it like as he's walking back up to the house, like through the...
He sees a little bit of something.
All the lights went off.
All the lights went off, and he sees a tiny bit of the thing.
Of the ship.
Yeah.
I mean, you see it in the trailer.
No, yeah. You see it in the trailer. So all that happens, then they hire a guy to put up a bunch of cameras, but of course...
Because they're going to try to capture the...
right.
Whatever
They kind of become obsessed with, we'll get
Yeah.
famous if we capture an alien on film and that kind of thing. But of course, the power goes out and stuff messes with the cameras and all that.
Yeah.
They don't ever really get it.
Yeah.
But the alien comes back around a few times. And I'm trying to think what happens next. And there's also, next to them is a theme park run by Steven Yeun, who was a child actor
Yeah.
on that TV show
Where the
and he
monkey-
saw the monkey kill the woman.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the only way it's related.
Yeah.
And he has like a room where he like has memorabilia from the show. And so the
Yeah.
commentary is sort of, he knows this was a traumatic event and it was traumatic to him, but it's also partially sort of what people know him for
Yeah.
and other things. So
Well,
it's sort of that sick fascination with the tragedy that...
I mean, people paid him
Entertains people.
$50,000 to stay in his little room with memorabilia in it. Which some of the stuff he kept was like
Yes.
odd.
Which is somewhat close to real life where people will pay
Yeah.
to stay in like, houses where people were murdered or something.
Yeah.
But so there's that. Also, little do we know, the big reveal of the movie is that this thing is not a spaceship. It's an animal. It is the alien. It's a saucer-shaped creature with what would be to us the little abduction hole is its mouth hole.
And this guy that is running the park
Yes.
like thinks that he is feeding it.
Well,
he's gonna basically
He's feeding it horses.
he's feeding it horses, but he's been doing it for 6 months, and he's essentially doing it to start a sideshow. Which I watched one of like the review things that someone did, and he was like, "This guy's been feeding this thing at a show for 6 months, and hardly anybody's there." And I'm like, "This is the first show. Like, did you not pick up on that somewhere?"
Right.
Like,
I thought
he's
about
been
that
feeding
too.
it, and he finally is like, "Okay, this is what I have to do to make this spectacle where people will see it." And it happens at like 6 p.m. every day that he feeds it this horse or something. And so
I thought about that too. I was like, wait a minute, how did other people not tell? But that flyer is the announcement of the big event.
Event where he's gonna like make it known that he is now trained an alien of some sort. And so he like has this big show. He has a horse that he like pulls a cover off of that he had bought from the horse ranch because they're like struggling for business after his dad dies because he like really has a hard time coping with it.
Hard time noping with it.
Yeah, hard time noping with it. But he's talking a big game, and this thing comes and he opens the gate for the horse that's in this like clear box, and the horse like refuses to go out
because it's smart.
refuses to go out. So the alien ship comes down, or the alien. You already
The
told
alien.
them it is the alien. Like comes down and like eats all of
Sucks
them,
up everyone in the crowd.
all the people.
Oh my god.
And so literally like Daniel Kaluuya, his character is going up to the show to check it out because he had found a flyer on the ground and he needed to like talk to the guy
Yes.
or something. So he's walking in and like everything's destroyed.
He sees that
This is-
happen basically.
Well, he didn't see it happen. He just walks in on the aftermath.
Oh, that's right.
Where like the entire like half
Again,
the carnival,
empty theme park creepy.
yeah, half the theme park thing, which is not very big.
No.
but, like half the theme park is completely like wasted. Like
because
this thing when it came in and like
it's like a tornado.
yeah,
that
it comes
sucks
like
it
a
up.
tornado and like sucks things into it. and it literally like destroys half this thing. So he's like walking into the aftermath, and he's trying to get his horse that he can still see there to come with him, and the horse does not want to move at all. And literally, like in the blink of an eye, this thing like swoops out of the clouds, and this is when you like kind of realize, oh, this is not a ship. This is the alien. And this thing, like, instead of coming in and like sucking from the top, it like goes sideways, like mouth first, at him. And he luckily like is backed into like this little
shed thing.
It's
hallway.
like the walkway where they would come out to do the show for the crowd. So he's like back far enough that it doesn't get to him, but it like destroys everything. So he's got like debris and stuff all over.
I think he
him.
gets knocked out too.
Yeah,
'Cause he wakes up at night.
Yeah, and luckily, I mean, the horse is still there.
Yeah, the
like,
horse
that's
is
what
named
was
Lucky.
crazy. The horse was named Lucky. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, all that
dude,
happened.
Crazy.
And then it poofs it out on top of their house.
Yes. So he's like going back to the house, and so his sister and the camera guy, because this dude
Who
is
works
like
at Fry's Electronics.
This guy works at Fry's Electronics. He came to install the cameras, and he's like, I can monitor, because like at
He's
this point
obsessed with UFOs.
he understands that they're looking for a UFO. And he's like, I can monitor it for you if you want. She's like, nope, we're good, thanks. And so, he's secretly like monitoring it while he's at work and stuff. And he shows up, and he's like, literally, he shows up, and he's like, hey, did you see this? And he like goes and he like rewinds all this footage, and there's this one cloud that like never moved.
And it makes a cloud to surround itself, and it hides in the cloud.
Yeah, and so he shows up, but he's like, "Have you like what?" And she's like, "I told you not to watch it." But so
and then it poops on their house.
Keke Palmer's character and this dude that worked at the electronics store are at their house now because they were trying to get a shot of the alien, and there's this praying mantis that like one of the cameras goes out because when the thing comes over, like all electronics go down. So he comes up and he's like, "Get the praying mantis off the camera," because they can't get the shots. They only have one camera now. And so, like, literally the entire time that this thing is there, this is just praying mantis, like, looking at the camera, and it's fantastic. I was like, that is just genius. Because that would actually happen.
Yes.
If you were actually trying to do this in real life and get a shot of some alien craft, that is definitely what would be happening, is some random bug would be on your security camera.
There was a bug in the system.
But he's like, I don't remember what happened. It's nighttime. He's like driving to their place, or he's driving away from their place, and his van like stops working, and he runs back inside, and the ship, like, you can hear it. It makes this like terrible sound, and you can hear the screaming from all the people that it ate, like still inside
they're still
there.
in there.
Yes,
And I guess they're
Still
being
alive?
digested.
screaming. I guess because then you hear a crunch and everybody stops screaming. But this
And then it
thing, when
poops.
all this happens, it's like, and it's like vibrating the house, and they're like covering their ears and stuff.
I bet that sounded awesome.
Dude,
in the
it was
theater,
really cool in IMAX. Yeah, it was also like really terrifying.
Yeah.
Like,
Speaking of which, there was a Christopher Nolan trailer right before the movie with the most ear-piercing, stupid, too loud sound, and I'm like, Nolan, you son of a bitch. You can't you can't be happy with yourself until you make people's ears bleed or go, wait, what did that character say?
Yeah.
Because it's an artful choice for people not to hear your freaking actors. I
Yeah.
love Christopher Nolan and I hate his guts simultaneously. Was that not the most ear bleeding sound?
oh
you've
yeah,
ever
it
heard
was
in a movie theater?
terrible. And that trailer sucked.
No,
It told you absolutely nothing other than that.
But
It was called Oppenheimer.
It's a trailer based on the expectation for people to go, oh, Christopher Nolan,
It was
Sell
it was
your
so
movie.
Dumb. Yeah,
sell me your movie.
it was so dumb. Anyway, so
And then
this
it
dude's
started
car
dropping
stops
blood.
working, and so he goes back inside. It's making these noises. You hear screaming, and then you hear a crunch. And after you hear the crunch, it starts like it's flooding at this point outside, just
It's
in
raining.
general, like it's pouring. And all of a sudden, you hear it. It starts raining harder and harder and harder, and then like blood starts oozing down the windows. And like the rest of the movie, their house is like a weird pinkish color. Yeah.
And also everyone's keys and
Did it
wallets
start out
and
as
hats.
a White
Yeah.
House?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course it did.
Yeah. Well, I, mean, I figured.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That happened.
That
and
happens.
but all their stuff like rains down, and you're like, oh, that
was where the key and the coins
Yeah,
came from.
because one of the first things that they had reported
yeah.
6 months ago was that some hikers had gone missing. And so the hikers went missing, and
Lost a
That
nickel.
was their keys and nickel.
it pooped out their spare change
Yes.
over the horses.
change.
Spare change.
Yes.
Uh,
And then after that is basically the finale,
yeah,
where
dude.
they hire, which I thought was cool. They hire like a
They didn't hire
cinematographer
him.
guy. Well, I guess they brought him on.
yeah.
But
That was from the beginning of the movie.
oh yeah, that's
When-
right. He's on that shoot.
Yeah.
But he's a guy, and he has it's an IMAX camera, like a 70 millimeter IMAX camera, but it's the old school. It's a hand crank.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
no electronics. Does that
Oh,
make sense?
yeah, yeah.
So that's the only way they
Bro.
could capture it. Was,
That part stressed me out when they had to change
Yeah, and there's
film.
like change the film. You're like, oh no.
I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Oh. Yeah, that part stressed me out when they had to change the film in
Yes.
the middle of all this happening. And this dude from TMZ shows up that has this shiny
Yeah, that
helmet
surprised
and
me. I
like
was-
several
'cause I
cameras.
was
And he's
like,
on
it's the Men in
he's on an
Black, bro.
electric bike, of course.
I whispered to Ryan, I was like, it's the Men in Black. They've come to get him. And he's like, I'm from TMZ. And I was like, what?
He didn't say that. She said, "Oh, it's TMZ."
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Which
she's the
that's
one.
so
that
weird.
Actually,
I was like, oh yeah, that exists.
yeah. But he's on an electric bike, and so this thing goes over and it cuts all the electricity off, and he's going like 60 miles an hour down a dirt road and flies off at
Which I guess
60 miles
makes
an
sense.
hour
I don't
over
know
the
if that would
handlebars.
really happen.
That shot was super cool because it's from
Yeah.
the sky, and this dude is like tracking down this road, and all of a sudden it goes, whoo, and it like flips,
does a
and he goes
backflip.
flying, and the bike is flipping. It was really cool. That was a cool shot. But the whole like this dude's on the ground, arms are broken, about to get eaten by an alien, and he's like, this Daniel Kaluuya's character is like trying. What is his name? OJ.
Yeah, his name's OJ.
OJ is like trying to help this dude out. Like,
He's telling him what to do.
yeah, because at this point he's figured out that if you don't look at it, it will not eat you.
He eventually comes to the conclusion that even though it's a predator animal, like a chimpanzee, you can train it through its own means, basically. And so that's the looking away. And that's the purpose of all the stupid bendy men. The reason they have all the bendy men is they're all hooked up to car batteries. So as the alien comes down the driveway or through a certain
shut off.
area, they all throw, and it's like an indicator.
But it was
light.
also really cool because like the entire valley is just brown, and then you have
bright
these
neon
bright
colored.
neon colored like bendy car dudes.
When I saw
that
the
were
trailer, I was
awesome.
like, "This is so stupid! Like, why would there be all these?" You know what I mean? But it makes sense.
Yeah.
They made it make sense.
It was really cool. Like the whole movie was really cool. The ending, like when the alien like reveals its true form, I thought was so strange.
Yeah, that was weird. Because
So
it goes from
strange.
being a saucer to being basically like, you ever seen those like decorative folded napkins
It was like a wispy
or
goddess.
origami? It turned
Yeah.
into that.
It was like a wispy goddess, like made of flapping like curtains.
Yeah, and
I don't even know.
and the way they defeat it is there's a big
It eats a giant balloon
inflatable balloon at the theme park,
with one eye open, and it's like this.
like a little cowboy man.
So apparently, this alien cannot distinguish between
what's alive?
what's
or not.
alive and what's not because it has a lot of like all the
It eats like a
all the
plastic horse.
it eats a plastic horse because it likes horses, so it can't tell. But it also eats a bunch of those like flappy dudes because they have faces.
Yeah.
And so there's like a lot of scenes where it is laying on the ground and its eyes are up and it like sucks it up.
Yeah.
So this dude with one eye going like this is apparently very appetizing to this thing
because it's huge.
and it eats it and it explodes, like literally blows the thing up. So
And I kept thinking like that it was going to be like, oh, they didn't get any footage of it, but it seems like they kind of
think they
did.
did,
It seems like they
yeah.
actually did get footage of an extraterrestrial flying thing.
That movie was so crazy.
And that's the end of the story.
But the most intense part of the movie had nothing to do with aliens. There's a scene where it flashes back in the middle of the movie to the monkey absolutely going crazy. Because at the beginning, you just see a glimpse of it, right? Mm-hmm. Monkey's going absolutely
I didn't like watching
insane.
that. It was unpleasant.
And it does show like a little more. So they were having a birthday episode for the monkey. And they go in and they're giving him like different presents and stuff. And the daughter character like gives him this giant box and it opens and there's like balloons that come out and a balloon pops. And apparently that was like his cue of I'm freaking out. Mm-hmm. So Monkey goes absolutely crazy, just starts murdering people. There's like dead people up. All the cameramen are dead. And it is like beating the crap out of this chick, like on the floor. Like you see her legs, you just see her feet, her legs are moving. And it flashes back to, what was the guy's name?
Well, the actor's name is Steven Yeun. But
yeah, but his character as a kid on the show is like underneath a table, and there's a little like cloth overhanging where it's like kind of between.
That was so bad.
Him and the monkey, and
like the thinly veiled birthday
the
party
dad
cloth.
on the show comes down the stairs. Monkey goes after him, beats him, he dies. And so he comes back and the girl like moved or made a sound or something and he beats her again. I don't know how she did not die.
I don't know.
Because it's like revealed later that she's still alive. She's just horribly disfigured. I don't know how
So there's that.
I don't know how she didn't die. But this monkey so there's another balloon that pops and I don't know if that is the key or if it was that because I saw on one of the reviews that
a theory.
It had to do with eye contact. It's why that he did not get killed.
Oh,
because he was behind the little veil and he was staring at that shoe that was standing up. Like that's why they kept showing that shoe. Apparently he was like glued on that.
Right.
Because when I heard like the girl's shoes comes off and it's standing like perfectly up and it's got some blood on it.
Yeah.
But the monkey like slowly comes over to him and gets like literally like this close from the camera and there's like a little.
And when
like,
that happened, I was like, okay, they should have paid a little bit more for the CGI on this monkey.
There's a little see-through like cloth that was over this table, and the monkey gets like right up to it, and like that was the most intense scene of the whole movie. Is this monkey like because it's huge? I mean, you're watching IMAX, and it's filling up 75-80% of the screen at least, and it's staring at him, and the camera switches to the side, and he's like putting a fist through.
Because they do a fist bump on the show.
Because they do a fist bump on the show, and so he's like going to fist bump him. So I don't know. I don't know if the second balloon popping while he was in there like beating up the dad was like his other trigger.
Made him go normal
like if
again.
he was in like a trance,
Yeah.
and so it was like when you hear a balloon pop,
right,
kill everyone, and then if you hear another balloon pop, maybe it takes you out of that trance. So I don't know if that was the situation, if it was because of the eye contact or what.
Right.
But yeah,
I'm
and
sure
then
there's going to be
so
1,000
they're going.
YouTube videos explaining.
He says
exactly
earlier
why.
in the movie we had the first exploding knuckle touch,
like
fist bump, but the monkey
I
is
forgot that he said that.
the monkey's reaching through,
No.
and he's reaching towards the monkey, and they get like this far from each other, and someone came in and shot the monkey in the head, and so it like immediately dies.
So is
and
that
he's
what he
just
meant
sitting
by the
there with like
exploding fist
blood on
bump?
him, and you were like,
You think that's what they meant?
"This is
The
like dead
exploding
center
fist
of the
bump?
movie." Terrifying.
Yeah,
Way scarier than any
way
of the
scarier,
alien
and it's
stuff.
not scarier in a fun way like the aliens.
I know that. See,
No.
that one scene as you're explaining it makes me probably not want to watch this movie.
Yeah.
everything
It's-
else
you
makes me
could-
want to watch the
It's
movie. But
it's
that
all
one,
of
I
like a
could've-
minute and a half, 2 minutes.
I could
at
have
the
done
most.
with less monkey.
At
I
the
understand why, but I could have done with less monkey.
I'll watch it with y'all, and y'all can just fast forward it through that one.
You can just close your eyes. I mean, it's literally like a minute.
Jeez, that sounds terrifying,
bro.
It is.
That was
the monkey part is not
that
fun.
was so intense. Like the whole time, I was like, "Don't do it," because you could just see it.
And the
like,
monkey was like, you know, I had to do it
just
to him.
absolutely going crazy again. I don't know, man. That part was very intense. That's for sure.
Now, I also watched the new Thor movie.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was good. It wasn't as good as Ragnarok.
No.
You know what I mean?
Ragnarok's great.
In comparison to
First of
Ragnarok,
all,
it seemed kind of like disjointed.
His
and weird.
haircut is fantastic in Ragnarok.
It is.
It's way better
looks
than
the
the
best.
long. Yeah, way better than the long. He has an eye patch in Ragnarok because he lost his eye.
Eye patches are cool.
Very cool. And they open up with him like absolutely destroying some kind of monster in Ragnarok. And what is it? Back in Black that plays at the beginning? I'm trying to
think. Well, I know for sure, like 2 or 3 times in the movie is that Led Zeppelin song about Iceland. What is that one? Under the ice and snow, where the soft winds
Immigrant
blow.
song.
Hammer of the gods.
Does that one start with ah?
Yes, it starts with
it's the
like
immigrant
screaming,
song.
chanting.
Yeah. That one.
Which is
That's
a
what it
Viking
starts
type
with. That's
song.
like the intro to Thor Ragnarok, and you're like, let's
It
freaking
all
go.
works. It all works. But no, it was pretty good. Now I had some friends over to my house this past weekend, and I think I told you about this.
You did
But
tell me
boy,
about it.
we had a wonderful slate of films that we watched.
Any Star Wars?
No, but we did watch Daddy Daycare,
Oh,
which upon a rewatch is absolutely hilarious. Steve Zahn is a god.
Was there a spoof on that called Daddy Day Camp?
There was another movie called Daddy Daycare.
It's like 0% on Rotten
Yes,
Tomatoes,
it's awful.
I'm pretty sure.
But Daddy Daycare is a great movie. And then we watched Twilight, New Moon, and Eclipse.
Oh, you watched both of them? So
Yeah.
you've seen all of them now?
No, I haven't seen the last two. The 2 Breaking Dawns.
Oh, I forgot there
That's
were
the
2
last
parts. Yeah.
But yeah, but I saw the part where the guy was like, where it was, it's in the 3rd movie where it talks about everyone's backstory. And like the one guy, Jasper, who's like, yeah, I was a major in the Confederate Army. What? What? And you're like, what? That blew my mind. Now the first one was good because it was bad. The other movies are more
I mean, none of them
actual
are
good movies.
fantastic.
You know what I mean? The first one has way too much like derpy weirdness. The other ones get more normal and more enjoyable.
What happens at
for
the
being,
end of the last movie that you've seen? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I've never seen any of the Twilight movies.
The first one is worth watching for the memes.
What?
Yeah.
Dude. We watched
There's a
all
part
of
where
them.
she gets on his back and he says, "Hold on, Spider Monkey."
And this is why I will not watch them.
No, that's why we
You need to watch them. You need to at least watch the first
The
one.
first one is
Once you
is
watch
funny
the
enough.
first one, though, you kind of
And then we can
the
watch
rest of
Vampire
them.
Suck because
Vampire
Christian
Suck
always
is
talks
so-
about that movie.
It's so bad, dude. So bad. That's another 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm pretty sure. Is
Yeah.
a Vampire Suck. It's so
And
bad.
We also watched A Cinderella Story, which is a great movie. That's the one with Hilary Duff in it.
Dang, y'all literally did sit around and just watch movies all
Yeah.
weekend.
And then we watched Cheaper by the Dozen.
That's a great movie. I was about to say
So
that when
great.
you said that Daddy Daycare was good. I was like, but Cheaper by the Dozen, though.
Yeah. Also, great soundtrack.
Cheaper by the Dozen 2, better than Cheaper by the Dozen.
I'm just a kid.
Yes, that's in it. That's in it. I love that you know that.
Yeah, Cheaper by
You're
the
a
Dozen.
real one.
Cheaper by the Dozen 2 is way better than the first
Yeah,
one.
I want to watch that one now.
You haven't seen
'cause
it?
No, I have, but
Oh.
like, it's been so long that I basically haven't seen it. You know.
Yeah.
But
it's so
Steve
good.
Martin is the goat.
Steve
He's
Martin's
so
good.
funny. He's so funny.
Dude, he's in the Only Murders in the
I know,
Building.
dude.
You
That's
need to
why I
watch
need to
it.
watch
It's
it.
really good.
And yeah, it was a good time.
Sounds fun.
All
that's
I've
the
done is play
movies.
golf.
So Caddyshack.
I wish that's all I had done. Frick. So I do have some random questions again.
Oh no,
Ooh.
I'm scared.
Is it like trivia?
Another episode of Brian's random questions to none.
Brian.
I don't know. I sound funny right now.
Brian.
So. Hey,
Brian.
Brian. Who's Brian?
Beef.
Uh,
You smell like beef.
so my first question tonight for you guys is, what obscure movie quote do you say that no one understands
Oh,
or no one gets the reference
Let me
for?
think about this for a second. One of them that I say all the time just because we eat a lot of corn.
Corn.
Corn. Nothing but corn.
We say that around my house all the time.
Oh my god!
It's from a movie called Secondhand Lions.
Also, the I must meet this man part where it comes out of the girl's mouth.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
I'm a rolling stone from Texas. Okay.
Yep.
That's so.
Another
funny.
one that I say all the time, or think in my head. Another one is like ones that I think in my head all the time, but don't say them out loud. Is, the package that he says in Kangaroo Jack.
Oh,
When people say, "Oh, you got a package in the mail," "Oh, a box came in the mail," "Oh, you got a thing in the mail," the package.
Yeah. Mine that I do say sometimes. I also think it a lot and know because at this point I know no one gets the reference most of the time. Is from Like Mike, and it's like at the very beginning when they're watching the game outside in the parking lot, and Knights are down. Tracy Reynolds pulls up for a game winner, misses, and Calvin and Murph out in the parking lot are like, "No, what was Tracy Reynolds thinking?" I say that a lot.
That's such a weird one. Oh, that's good.
That one's just like, like someone does something dumb or, whatever, and you're like, "What was Tracy Reynolds thinking?" And everyone's like, "What is that from? Is that a quote?" Like,
Yeah. Now, a crap ton of mine come from Master of Disguise because that movie is nonsensical anyway, but he has so many characters.
got a stick stuck in my.
When I see like a
I
kebab,
watched Snow Dogs the other day too.
Oh my god, that's so good. When I see a kebab, I say, "What's the little stick for?" Get the stick stuck in the esophagus.
Yeah.
I think of the noise that the Jaws guy makes. The "Oh, howdy, hooray!" This is what goes on in my brain. And also, when just like the package thing, it just like perfect
Yeah.
connection with it. There's the part where she says something like, "Yeah, I got a letter," and she goes, "She received a letter."
One that I say a lot.
Doubt it.
Yeah, that too.
One that I say a lot from Snow Dogs is that part where he's towards the end going to save Thunderjack, and he brings Nana out to be the lead dog, and she's like, "Nana's not a lead." He says, "If I can be a musher, Nana can be a lead dog." I say that one a lot.
Yeah.
And ever since we rewatched it together,
You
I've
got something
seen
wrong
that
with your
movie.
head.
Ever since we rewatched it, that's been the quote.
You got something wrong with your head.
I never told Ted he was adopted.
Or maybe even Daddy-O.
Oh man.
I'm an Eskimo when he wakes up from the dream at the beginning after he finds out that he's adopted. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Also, the like, looks like I've got all the horses. Looks like you're on the wrong side of the river.
You do say that one a lot.
Also, I think of the thing in Kangaroo Jack when they're about to go over the waterfall. I don't know. I never can remember the exact quote, but it's basically like, "Large waterfall. Yep. Sparky rocks at the bottom. Most likely." Bring
Yeah.
it on.
Emperor's New Groove.
Oh my gosh.
That's the Emperor's New Groove.
Yes. Also,
I thought you said Kangaroo
You did
Jack.
say Kangaroo
Oh,
Jack.
but they're all mixed together up there.
I was like, when is there a water?
Look at this moment.
Well, there is a waterfall
we'll
going
see
into
it
the pool, but the only quote that's from that is Lewis going, "Ah!" Or them at the bottom, I guess,
Now,
but he's not really
keep
going
this in mind.
over
At
the waterfall.
9:06, Wednesday, July 27th, 2022 was when I lost my mind. Was when it all converged and my brain broke.
Oh my gosh.
Also when like
Now, one
you're
that-
realizing something is like, oh right.
Yeah. The poison for Cusco. Cusco's poison. Everyone gets that reference. Like, that's one that most people get the reference to. In fact, I feel like I hear people say that one more than I have ever said it before.
My spinach buffs. You're dating a bee? He doesn't actually say that in Bee Movie, but it is fun to say that in his voice because it's the same guy.
You're dating
Also at Disneyland,
I thought he did say that.
He says something like that.
I'm pretty sure he does say that. I'm pretty sure he says that in B movie.
That's called the Mandela effect.
Shrek, I'm looking down. Anyway.
Yeah, that's it. I say that a lot. Oh, here's one. We can't stop.
This is gonna go on forever.
That'll do, donkey.
That'll do, donkey.
But then,
That'll do.
But even on top of that, I say, "That'll do, pig."
Which
That'll
is the
do,
real
which
quote.
is from Babe.
Yes.
That'll do, pig.
I switch them. I probably say pig more than I say donkey, but
Yeah. That'll do.
those are still good.
That'll do.
Now, have you watched Paddington? You said you have, right?
Mm.
You haven't? You haven't seen Paddington?
No,
have
I
you
have
seen
not, I have
Paddington?
not.
Okay, we're gonna have to watch Paddington.
I've
sometime
heard that
soon, 'cause
like,
it's really
they're
freaking
really good.
dude. It's
It
really
just-
good.
You know, it just doesn't seem like a movie from the trailer and the way it was advertised. It just
It
seems
seems
like
kinda
a really
bland.
little kid movie that
It does.
just
It's
I
not.
don't know.
It's really
But
good,
then,
man.
yeah, like you're saying, I've heard
Like,
like
it's
nothing
also
but
don't
good.
know
It's
who
a-
Paddington is.
It's a family movie.
like
he's
I
like-
know
he's
he's
a-
from a book.
He's a bear, right?
He's a bear.
Isn't he from
like
a
a
book?
I think they have a book.
But I'm like, it didn't catch my attention mostly because like I didn't know or understand.
He's a bear from Darkest
he
Peru
was.
that speaks English.
Shouldn't he speak Spanish?
No. He also speaks bear.
Okay.
His name is. And then the other guy tries to say it and can't. And he's like, Mr. Brown, that is the most disrespectful thing anyone has ever said to me.
Oh, also another.
It's really funny.
another one
Dude,
is-
there's a scene in the first one where he shows up to the Brown's house because that's the family in the movie that he like finds in London. And
the one from the
it's one of
Medea.
the funniest parts of the whole movie. And literally, I started laughing like this while I was watching it, and I was sick. So I'm sure it sounded great. I just started cracking up. I was at home by myself, I'm pretty sure at that point. I was dying laughing. And he's like, oh, well, we'll take him to the authorities tomorrow and they can find. And he's like, you're going to send him to an orphanage? No, not an orphanage. A home for people who don't have, or a home for people whose both their parents have died or something like that. And so it like in between these, like, you're going to send him to an orphanage, it flashes up this like eerie, like haunted house looking thing with a sign that says orphanage. And then it flashes back to it a second time after he says that. And it says exactly what he said on the sign.
All the words.
Literally. Yeah. It was so funny. I was
That's good.
cracking up. So it's definitely like,
And then it's a Stuart Little movie.
he goes to jail in the second one too, so I don't know if it's a kid movie.
We'll take the rat.
I mean, there's Ernest Goes to Jail.
Yeah, I don't know.
Y'all
what I
see
mean?
it?
They're
Did y'all-
definite family
I
movies.
think I
though.
sent y'all this.
Oh my
meme,
God.
that Stuart Little.
Know what I
meme.
mean? I say that unconsciously, not as Ernest, but I say that way too much. Know what I mean? Know what I mean?
I told you about the time that I was playing disc golf, and we putted, and one of them was a little high, and the other was a little low. And I said,
hate
"Little
you.
hey, little ho," and Clint said, "What is that from?" I said, "I'm pretty sure it's from Stuart Little."
I'm pretty sure Dr. House says it.
It was like little high, little low, little hey, little low.
What
Yeah.
does that even mean?
I don't know. It's
why
something to
does he
do
have to
with them
ride on the
being the
boat?
littles. Why did they adopt a mouse?
There were humans in that orphanage.
So
I
many
know, that-
questions.
That's the meme that I sent.
Yes. Just imagine being a human in that orphanage.
We'll take the rat.
Yeah.
Wait, one more to close it out is like, there's a monster right behind me, isn't there?
Yeah,
That's one of mine.
that is a good one. I don't know.
Or the way Shaggy, when they're in the van making the food, and he goes, a chocolate covered eggplant burger. I think of burger, hamburger.
Yeah.
Every time I see a hamburger. Okay, that's it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That was Pandora's box.
Yeah.
That was a good question.
Yeah. That was you achieved what you were looking for. These are not the droids you're looking for.
We're still flying half a ship. Another happy landing.
my next one is, what's the last book you finished?
Well, I've been reading a lot of baby books.
Oh, those are easy to finish. They're literally 3 pages long.
Yeah, I know. There's one that's called The Going to Bed Book by Sandra Boynton. And I think I could probably quote the whole
By
thing
memory.
right now. The sun has set not long ago. Now everybody goes below. Yeah.
Very
I
good.
shouldn't.
No.
You should.
We'll put a beat over it afterwards. I'm trying to think the last thing Well, actually, the last thing I read was on the plane. And I didn't finish the whole book, but I basically did. It's like a combination thing of 3 different novels. But it's like the old school, like Han Solo novels.
Oh,
that
yeah.
there were some of the first, like, extended universe books to come out, like,
Yeah.
in the 80s when the movies were still, like, coming out.
Yeah. I remember those
But I read
books-
one of those.
I remember those books used to always be in our library at my elementary school, but they were always like the upper reading level.
Yeah.
So I never.
That falls in line with my next question, actually.
Oh, really?
So I think the last book that I actually finished was for work. I don't remember which one it was because we've read a couple. But the last book that I read for fun that I actually finished, which has probably been a while now, but it was one of the Percy Jackson books. There's so many. I think the last one I finished was House of Athena or House of Hades. I don't know. I'm like through the first series of Percy Jackson books, and then they did like
There's
an
another
extended, like an extension where they're like older or something.
Yeah.
So I was in that series somewhere. Those were great.
Which makes me think, how stupid was I? Like, I think about this all the time with some things, like AR reading.
Yeah.
Did I not know that Star Wars novels existed and we probably had a crap ton of them in our library?
I guess not.
Why would
I just
Why
remember like seeing them on the shelf and like, I bet that's cool. But this is like my 2nd or 3rd grade mind, and I see, a book that's this thick. I'm like, oh, that's too big. That's too big.
But I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like,
So my next question is, what was your favorite fiction book series to read as a kid?
Hands down, Hank the Cowdog.
Hank the Cowdog was a
Hank the
beast.
Cowdog was great.
Magic Treehouse was cool.
Yes.
Magic Treehouse was great.
The Zack Files. Did y'all ever read that?
The Zack Files. What is that about?
It was like a kid who would get put into situations, and it was sort of like parody-ish of the X-Files, where it would be sort of like paranormal, but not really, or like Twilight Zone-y, but for kids,
Yeah.
Series of unfortunate events.
Sounds kind of.
Those were good.
I read the Left Behind series.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
Those were
Yeah.
good.
Did y'all ever read the Boxcar Children?
But I always thought that was a hilarious concept.
They were pretty good.
I read some of the Hardy Boys novels.
I know I read
I don't
some,
think I've read
but
any
I
Hardy Boys.
don't know if I can recall what it's really about.
I don't necessarily remember a whole lot about it,
Hoot
but I did
and
read quite a
Flush.
few of them.
Do what?
Hoot and Flush. You don't remember those books?
Mm-mm.
Remember the movie Hoot?
I
Yeah.
read that book too.
Yeah.
Flush?
Flush was a sequel to Hoot.
What? There was a sequel?
It's not about the owls. It's about a different animal.
That's not a sequel then.
No, but it's like a, I don't know what it is. Anyway.
There was the
No, it is what it is.
Junie B. Jones
Yes.
series.
Junie B. Jones.
Oh wait. What was the like the male version of Judy B. Jones? He was a redheaded kid.
Ooh, I don't
Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't. Ask the Google.
I have no clue. I read Percy Jackson quite a bit. I read lots of Hank the Cowdog. I also read this book about cats called Warriors. That was like the craziest,
Sam used to read those books,
longest.
and he'd be like, "Dude, these are awesome." And I'm
They
like,
are
"No, they're
really
not."
good, dude. They were really good. It's about this cat that is perfectly fine being at home, and this other cat, like jumps up on its fence and like does something, and it leaves, and it never comes back, and it goes and lives with these tribes of cats in the woods. And then it goes like, I don't even know how many books there are, dude. There are so many books. I don't even know how many I read. That was like the majority of my AR points. And then another one that I really like that they've actually made into like a TV show now is Alex Rider. Those books were great.
Oh, wait.
I think
Was
they're
that
by
the
Anthony
Skeleton Key?
Horowitz. There was Skeleton Key.
Yes,
that was
I
one
read
of
like
them.
2 of those.
Point Blank was the first one. I think that was the first one anyway. There were like 8 or 10 of them, I think.
Oh my God.
They were so good. It was about like a teenage like secret agent.
Yeah.
It was like British intelligence or something.
I
But they're
found
like
it.
off the record, and they didn't really. I think his dad was part of something, and so his dad gets murdered, and he like tries to go and figure out like who's behind all this stuff. It was really good.
All right. Shout outs to subreddits dedicated to finding something. This is on the subreddit What's That Book?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, this is verbatim what it says. My boyfriend is trying to find the, quote, boy version series of the Judy B. Jones books. He said the main character has red hair and freckles. That's exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
The character's name is Marvin Redpost.
I never read those.
I read it because it's the same author who wrote Holes.
Digging
But they were like shorter books.
Digging holes.
That's too damn bad. No, that's a real one.
That's a good quote.
Keep digging.
I'm tired, Grandpa.
Also, when it's hot out and there's no cloud in the sky, come on, little cloud. I say that all the time. Come on, little cloud.
Come on, little
I would
cloud.
have made it out of my pocket and start barking. D-I-G. What's that spell?
Wow. Dig.
I'm surrounded by cow turds.
Once there was a magical place where
It never rained.
The end.
It's in a Girl Scout camp.
Mary in Seville. You're in violation of your parole.
It's been a long time since El Paso married.
The name's Armpit. Why do they call you that?
I don't know no fool named Theodore. Well, I don't know no fool named Armpit. I know that whole movie. Bologna and cheese, apples, and graham crackers.
Oh my god. Freaking Holes, man. What a movie.
I love it.
They found refuge on God's thumb.
Don't give up. Never give up.
It hadn't rained.
Peaches
since
and
the day
onions.
They killed Sam.
Yeah.
So, I say that a lot. Okay, but no. That's in like 5 other movies of how it hasn't rained in a town until I was watching something just the other day that had it in it. Oh my God, what was it? Oh no, wait, it was in a Cinderella story. They're in a drought in California and it hasn't rained. At the end of the movie, like after they kiss or something happens, it rains at like the football game.
It's like
And I leaned over and told my friends, I said, it hasn't rained here since the day they killed Sam.
It's a free ride when you've already paid.
It's good advice. Hello, my baby. Hello, my
just
honey.
did
Hello, my
today.
ragtime gal.
'Cause who would have thought? Bigger. Anyway.
Remember that frog? All right. What's that frog's name?
God, I don't know.
His name is Michigan J. Frog.
On what?
The frog that sings, hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Oh, good lord.
Baby.
Why am I not
Send me
surprised
your
that
love
you
on
know that?
wire. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you'll lose me. Then you'll be alone, oh baby. Telephone and tell me I'm your man. And the frog goes, "Rup." That's where we should end the episode.
He's still got questions.
I
Have to
do.
answer the next
I
question.
actually do have some questions. I can save them for another night if I need to. Actually, I do want to save this one because I want to know what Christian's answer is.
Oh, yeah. And when Christian's here next time, we need to remind me, we need to talk about The Rehearsal, which is Nathan Fielder's new show.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. It's art.
Is it good?
It's so good.
Oh, have you watched it already?
I've watched the first episode.
What's it on?
It's on HBO Max.
I'll check it out.
It's beautiful.
When bringing food to a party, What's your go-to item?
When bringing food,
Yeah. Party, everybody's bringing something. It can be anything. Appetizer, entree.
I usually like to bring like
dessert.
brownies because I know how to make good brownies.
What would you be known for? Like, yeah, he's bringing that because they're fantastic.
I don't know. I don't make anything fantastically, I don't think.
I'm the chocolate chip cookie guy.
Mm.
I feel like
Chocolate chip cookies are
if it's something like super simple, like I'm just gonna grab these at the store
good. Mm-hmm.
before I go. Like I didn't have time to prepare. I'm probably gonna bring something like Oreos. It's got to be cookies for me. I know, but if I have time to actually go home and bake some cookies,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some chocolate chip
Go
cookies.
bake some cookies. That sounds pretty good.
You can't get like the store bought chocolate chip cookies, like the Walmart brand that comes in the little clear.
Mm-hmm.
Those are no good. You got to actually make the cookies.
Gotta make them.
Yep.
Gotta make them.
Make them all.
Gotta make them all. Yeah, I made a 2-day.
Make 'em all.
I made a 2-day cookie recipe from like
Mm-hmm.
some deal on YouTube a while back, where you have to like, you literally like make the dough. You get like a chocolate bar that's like dark chocolate and cut them up.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like chunks in there. It's not chocolate chips. And then you literally made toffee from scratch. And then there was something else. And then you like mix it all together with like your hands. And then you roll them up into a ball and they rest in the refrigerator for like 24 to 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then you bake them. Bro.
It's pretty darn good.
They were so good. But they were huge too. They came out gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
But you could only eat like half a cookie or you'd feel sick. Like they were so
They're that dense.
dense. Yeah, it was.
That's the good kind, though.
bro.
I mean,
They were so good.
that's the one that'll stop you from eating a bunch of cookies if you eat one in your.
I'm telling you, like, yeah, that's the problem with chocolate chip cookies. Like just normal chocolate chip cookies,
You can
you
sit
eat
there and
like
eat them.
50 of them, especially at a party
Yeah.
where there's like, yeah, we need it gone, or someone's gonna have to take it home. Just go ahead
Like,
and eat
I'll
them.
take it home.
I will eat them all. Thanks.
So my grandma showed me the easiest, most simple way to make a chocolate pie, and it's so good. Like if you're a fan of chocolate pie,
Mm-hmm.
you go and get one of those store-bought pie
Pie
crusts.
crust. Yep.
No one actually
And then-
makes a pie crust anymore.
Yeah,
No, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
And
it's a lot
then-
of work to make them turn out right too.
you just get some Cool Whip, the kind that's already in the the
Got some
bucket,
cool
not the spray
whip.
kind.
Cool whip.
And then you get a single Hershey bar. Melt the Hershey bar, mix it in the whole thing of Cool Whip, dump it in the pie crust, stick it in the fridge for like an hour.
Oh my
Boom.
gosh.
Chocolate pie, and it's so good.
That's so crazy.
It's like
Sick.
it's super simple, but it tastes so good.
mm-hmm.
So yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
as simple as that. There's like no other instruction.
Yeah. One year for July 4th, we made a red, white, and blue cake where we like layered it. It was a pain in the butt,
USA.
but it was so good, dude.
Mm.
Red, white, and blue, and then we literally made homemade buttercream icing.
Nice.
Yeah. It was
Butter
so good.
creme,
So good.
creme de la Edgar. You know what that's from?
Now I'm thinking of
I'm trying to think.
Inglorious
I'm
Bastards.
trying to think of something that's not a dessert that I would be my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I know a lot of people bring like deviled eggs. Deviled eggs suck.
I
hate
love them.
I
could eat my weight in them.
I have no desire to make
Delicious.
or eat a deviled egg ever.
Perfect beings eat eggs.
I'm trying to think like what kind of appetizer would be really good.
Oh, something that I have brought to a couple of parties. That's an appetizer that's really good. Bacon wrapped green beans.
Oh, those are
Mm.
good.
Those are
Yeah.
good.
Those are really good.
My mom introduced me to those.
Something I like making is taking like the little like crescent rolls
Mhm.
and then taking like, a piece of like ham or turkey or something
Yeah.
and a good piece of cheese,
Yeah,
rolling them
those
up,
are those are good.
baking them.
My grandma does
morsel things.
that with
It's like
pizza
a little miniature
stuff.
hors d'oeuvre
toasted
thingy.
sandwich.
Mhm.
My grandma makes those. She calls them pizza rolls. She puts them like, I don't know what kind of cheese it is she puts on it. It's not mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
It's not mozzarella. Oh, I don't know. It might be the mozzarella, but
just
it's not.
wanted to
It's
say
not
it.
like shredded mozzarella like you'd
Mm.
normally put on a pizza. But there's like a piece of cheese in there and some pepperonis, and you roll them up and cook them, and then you dip them in marinara, and they're
Mhm.
so good, so good. I'm trying.
Better
to think,
than your
though, man.
standard Totino
I
pizza
feel like
roll.
I feel like most of the time I'm game for dessert, and then you show up and other people have cooked good stuff. I feel like that's normally how it goes. Man, I don't know. I love chicken spaghetti. So like if I had to make something and take it somewhere like unexpected, like no one has assigned anything, because a lot of times people like assign like bring chips or bring a dessert or bring
Right.
drinks or whatever. I think I would probably just bring chicken spaghetti.
Another easy thing to do if you're like requested to bring something is to get like I forget. There's like one brand that I always buy of like the frozen already made rolls,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
yeast rolls. Bake them, put a little butter on the top right before they're done. Delicious,
Mhm. Yeah,
and it
you
goes
can't
with
go
anything.
wrong. Yeah, and they'll be gone.
Oh yeah,
You aren't gonna take any of those home.
Those
And then you'll be on a
smack.
roll.
Dude. I just want to know.
I love saying that, dropping the bomb, and then watching Brett's face.
You see the gears turn in my brain. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a pun.
Tell you what, dude, Hawaiian rolls go so hard.
Mhm.
My mom makes
Making
these
little
little like,
sliders.
Hawaiian roll sandwiches with
Mhm.
their Hawaiian rolls with I think turkey or ham, and then there's cheese on them usually,
Mhm.
and then she's got some kind of like olive oil stuff with seasoning in it that she
Olive
like,
oil?
Yeah,
she
I
puts
had
all
some of
over.
those just the other day. It was at one of the church's potlucks.
My mom made them.
It may have, and they were
That's
so.
like
those
that's
are
usually
good.
her go-to.
Those
Yeah,
are so good.
they're really good. Man, I'm trying to think. Like, I can't think of anything else. I don't know. I feel like pizza is always a solid option if you're going to a party. But I mean, I don't know. We don't necessarily go to like fancy parties. We're not going to like high class society like dinner party, cocktail parties, or anything.
I wouldn't want to anyway.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I'd go. I probably wouldn't eat much. I'd probably have to go like get something afterwards. Just because most of the time those are like finger foods and just boring.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people bring like charcuterie boards now. Charcuterie boards.
That's what I was gonna say, but
Yeah,
and those,
It's not
those
cootie.
are fine. Those
Huh?
are fine, but
shark coochie.
you know,
nah, I've seen charcuterie boards.
No, I've seen shark coochie boards.
Well, I'm not
That's way
calling it
funnier.
that.
it always seems like those are like the last thing that you really want. Like you'll eat it if it's the only thing. But
Yeah, let me get a cracker and a piece of salami.
yeah.
I actually really like it.
I mean, I do too.
Yeah.
but you know, if
The
there's
problem is it only
if there's
works-
a piece of pizza sitting there.
Yeah, the charcuterie board stuff only works.
What did
I
you just say?
I actually don't know how to say it.
Charcuterie.
I thought it had like sh in it.
Charcuterie.
I thought it was charcuterie boards or something.
Mm-mm. Charcuterie.
I don't know if that's true. Then why do people say shark coochie?
They don't.
Well, my friends do.
Because it's funny.
Because it's funny, I guess.
Sounds
Anyway,
funny.
it only works if like that's what you have to eat. Is that little snack board? If it's the snack board and then an actual meal, none of the snacks are going to get eaten. It's pointless to bring.
It's
it.
like bringing a Lunchable.
I mean, I'm not opposed to Lunchables by
adult
any means.
Lunchable.
It is an
Yeah, I
adult
know.
Lunchable.
I love Lunchables too, but you know, like I said, there's a piece of pizza
I
sitting
can't
there.
believe that Lunchables
I'm
were
gonna choose the
acceptable
pizza.
for us to eat as kids. There was no
I
value
still
with
eat
what's
them
in
every
that
now
pack.
and then. If I'm like, because they have them at gas stations usually, so like if I'm on the road and I'm hungry and just want like a little snack, but I don't want like
You want to be
I don't want
lunch
like
able.
crackers or like peanut butter or cheese crackers or something like that, or like I don't know, just a lot of times like stuff like that doesn't sound great, and it's like let me get like a turkey Lunchable and
Let me
just
get
chow down on this thing. I always hated that you couldn't actually make a sandwich out of it. They give you enough crackers and
It'd be half a
meat
sandwich.
to put one meat to one cracker. So you could double it up and make a sandwich, but then it's gone in like
right.
2 sandwiches. I'm like, give me double the freaking crackers and let me be.
And the funny thing is for less money, you could have brought a pound of crackers and a pound of little pepperonis and a pound of cosmic brownies and be endlessly satisfied.
Yeah.
But there was something about the best one was the pizza.
Oh, by far.
Where you made your little pizza.
Yeah, those were good. I like the turkey and crackers, and I never ate the cheese, but I like the ones that had like crunch bars in them too.
Yeah. Oh my god. Or when you got one in the candy and it was one you didn't like, and you're like, damn it.
What was bad? Usually it was like Crunch Bars, Kit Kats, or Reese's.
Yeah, most of the time it was good, but I feel like one time I got one and I was like, I don't like this candy.
What was that?
I don't know.
What could that possibly have been?
If it was a fruity candy,
I don't remember. I thought it was always chocolate.
it usually was.
Remember those little like sticks that you dip in the
Fun dip?
cheese?
Or no?
Like those little bread sticks that you.
Yeah, they still sell those.
I know, but
The cheese is
like,
delicious, but the sticks were crap.
I was like,
It's just a bread stick.
you know, I remember eating those.
It's like a wooden stick.
But now I'm like, that's kind of nasty.
Yeah, that has no value.
Especially the cheese. Like the cheese back then tasted good, but now that I'm thinking about how it really tasted, it's like
No, it was just yellow paste.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember when they had Hawaiian Punch in Lunchables where it came with like a little drink thing?
Yeah,
I actually don't remember that.
I do.
What?
I do remember Kid Cuisine
It was a
where it's like,
Lunchable. Kid Cuisine.
make your stuff green like Shrek. It's like, what are we doing as a society? You know what I mean? This is what it takes to get children to eat.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was
Ogre nuggets.
I'm pretty sure they were name brand Lunchables, but they were a little like they
had
came
a drink.
But you know how like the like normal little Lunchables, they come in like a little plastic thing with like sections and you pull the piece off. This came in a box.
Yeah.
Like a little thin cardboard box, and you like rip the end off of it, and the first thing that came out was like a little bottle of Hawaiian Punch with like a screw cap on top.
And little
Which
did we know
slapped.
that was his hat, not his hair.
Those were so good. And then they had like the main Lunchable part, but there was like an extra little thing for candy or whatever. Because a lot of times, like, especially if you go to like a gas station or something, Lunchables kind of suck. Not gonna lie, it's like a little road
I do
crackers
feel like
and a
they
little
were
stack
probably a
of
little
meat
bit
and
better
that's it.
back then.
And cheese. Oh, I'm sure.
You know?
I feel like we got more portions for our money back then.
Yeah, that's true. And
it wasn't that we were little. Like, I legitimately think that
no, I think that's true.
we got more for our money.
But yeah, Lunchables are such a weird
They're like,
concept.
over
It
the
makes
next
sense why
10
they're
years,
successful.
We're going to slowly
You know what I mean?
get rid of crackers and meat, and it's going to become smaller but more expensive.
And then they're no longer going to make the kid cuisines green because it turns out that's really bad for you.
Lunchables are going to be like 30, and they're going to eat 4 of them instead of 1. And then we've really got them.
And then we've got them. We got them, boys.
And then we've really got them. We got them, boys.
We got them, boys. We got the Dino Nuggets.
Oh, what was Tracy Reynolds thinking? Biddleman. The movie's so good. There's so many quotable things from Like Mike. When's the last time you watched Like Mike?
Years ago.
It's been a while.
I watch it quite a bit, actually. I love that movie. I'm pretty sure I wore the DVD out at some point. It's so good. Y'all gonna
I told you
make me
before that-
lose my mind. Up in here, y'all gonna make me.
I think the only tape I ever actually did wear out, no joke.
Like Mike.
Do you know what that was? Kangaroo Jack. That's the only tape I ever watched enough to where it started getting like static on it.
Tarzan.
Tarzan was fun for you.
I did watch Tarzan a lot. No, I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before, but there was some Tall Tales thing that I used to watch at my grandma's house like every day.
Well,
after
there's a
we go
movie
swimming.
called Tall Tale where Patrick Swayze played Pecos Bill.
It was not that one.
Okay.
This was like a cartoon one, and there were like several. Like there was Johnny Appleseed.
Oh, wait, I remember we watched it in school once. We watched that in school once, I swear.
I
There was a
don't remember
cartoon
that.
version of...
It was Johnny
that.
Appleseed, John Henry, There was another one.
Pecosville.
Nah, there was one with like a.
Babe the Blue Ox.
There was one with a lumberjack that
Paul
like
Bunyan.
sawed down trees really fast, and he had to go up against some tree machine.
Mm-hmm.
It was like John Henry, but
But the tree version.
lumberjack.
Paul Onion.
No.
Paul Bunyan. Oh, his last name is like the thing you got on your feet. Paul Bunyan.
Yeah,
Paul Funyun! Inventor of the Funyun fortune.
Oh my God. Well,
Paul Funyun. That's what this episode's going to be called. They have to wait till the very end.
the tall tale of Paul Funyun.
Hold on.
I actually remember there was a song in that one that was like, John Henry, John Henry, John Henry was a mighty man, born with a hammer, a 10-pound hammer, a 20-pound hammer right in his hand.
Just when you think you've come up with it.
We don't come up with anything original. Everything is someone else has already thought and made memes for, it seems like. What the heck is that? That's not a Funyun.
It looks pretty fun to me. Also, speaking of Reddit again, it's called This Massive Funyun, and their subreddit is Absolute Units, which I guess they just post large things.
Oh my God. Okay, I need to go to bed.
All right. Bismo Funyuns.
Thank you guys for listening and watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please subscribe to our podcast. Follow us on Spotify. We are at Question Ahead on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find all those links as well as links to our Discord and Reddit pages at thequestionahead.com. If you have any topics you would like to see us do in the future, let us know. Leave those in the comments. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
More Mountain Dews to come, baby.
Funyun taste.
Oh, this will
test.
probably go up before those do,
Yeah.
honestly.
It probably will.
Yeah.
But Mountain Dew, baby.
Naquilith Dilwad.
Is that what you've been thinking about all day?
Biscuitine Triscuit.
This whole episode's actually.
Oh, wait, the one we could...
I know what I'm ending the episode with.
The one we couldn't think of the other day when we were at my house, where the guy talking like this, was Esquiditine Buble Winslow.